Hi, everyone. Welcome to Live at Lunch. I'm so excited to be here with you today. I'm Barry Lyman, and I'm so thrilled about many things that the weather is starting to warm up. And I hope wherever you are that you're feeling cozy and warm. And one of the things that I have noticed that's so important, especially for singles now, is they say, oh, when the weather is cold, oh, that is when I could really, really benefit from having love in my life. And so that is what we're going to talk about today, having love in your life, which really and truly begins with self love, authentic self love. So let me know where you're joining from. As I mentioned, I am from Homestead, Florida, which is south of Miami, and I'm here with my beautiful baby dog, Nacy. Nacy, say hi. No, Nacy is going to nap through the whole thing. So I can hopefully see your comments right here. Okay, great. And so, what I want to talk about today is if you've ever been told by someone that, oh, this person is perfect on paper, and but you didn't feel it. You didn't feel it, right? Type a yes in the chat if you've ever been told that. So we have, while you're thinking about that, we have people here from all over the world, literally from New York, LA, Dubai, South America, and I am seeing plenty of yeses. Absolutely. And if you're watching the replay, definitely put in the comments below if that's ever happened to you. So, what I want you to know is that most smart, successful, accomplished singles that I work with are overlooking healthy partners because they don't like feel right. They feel boring or no spark or something's missing. And what I want you to know is that that feeling is exactly what's keeping you stuck. So I want to dig into that. And I don't want you to, God forbid, think that there would ever be a compromise or having to settle in any way. So let me tell you about a client, and I want to maintain her privacy. So I'm not going to tell you her name. She works at a Fortune 500. She has an MBA, many years of therapy. And speaking of that, I myself had many years of therapy and I was still stuck. And many of our clients are therapists themselves. I would say that about 30% of our clients are therapists. So this is not a self aware issue. So most people, when they come into working with us, they already know their patterns. I certainly knew mine. So when she was introduced, or she would meet men that were emotionally available, you know what she would say? Oh, this person is nice, but I'm not attracted, or there's no chemistry. So has that ever happened to you? I know that that's happened to me a lot. So I just want to segue here for a minute and tell you, for those of you who are new, that who I am and why you should be here and listen to me. I'm Barry Lyman, and I'm the creator of Meet to Marry, Get Unstuck in Love, and A Clear Path to Healthy Love method. And I help high achieving, self aware singles to break out of patterns, unconscious dating and relationship patterns, so that they can find sweet love that makes life better. Makes life better without settling, compromising on anything. No one needs to settle or compromise. Okay. And so I struggled for many years being self aware, knowing intellectually all my issues and my patterns, but I didn't know how to fix it. Okay. Because intellectual understanding of analyzing your parents, the past, doesn't change anything. And when I realized that it was something happening within me That's why I was stuck in this pattern. Then I was able to craft a solution. And I did in fact do that. And I've been married to my soulmate for 20 years and in a conscious, growing marriage. So what I want you to know, if you take anything away today, is that getting to wholeness from within, not here, but really embodying wholeness is, and finding love is a learnable skill. So I hope that makes you excited that you know in 90 days, 30, 60, 90 days, that in a week, you can change your embodiment and learn what you need to learn and really find love without settling or compromising. So if you're excited, type in the chat excited, because that's really what this is about. And I just want you to know that no one teaches us these things. And on February 18th, I'm doing a workshop called The 3 Mistakes, because many singles think they don't want to meet online. They want to meet organically. And I want you to know that there's a whole way of looking at that will free you up quite a bit, that it's really not about online being the problem. Okay, so when I talked back to the story of my client, when I spoke to her about, people feeling boring, she said, I asked her, what does chemistry look like to you? And you know what she said? Oh, it's that butterfly feeling in my stomach. It's the intensity. It's that pull, right? Like, how many of us recognize that? I know that's what happened every time with me over 15 years being chosen by people that were not available. So I don't know if you could do that, but I'd love to see like butterfly in the chat if you could relate to that, or an emoji of a butterfly, right? If you know what she means, right? So, the truth is that feeling that you call chemistry, ooh, really, you know what? It's just familiarity. That's it. Because guess what? Your nervous system actually recognizes dysfunction because it's what you grew up with, right? So when you meet someone who is emotionally available, consistent, clear, actually showing up, you know what your nervous system says? This doesn't compute. This is boring. Something's wrong here. But when you meet someone who is like, they text you one word things, or they don't confirm, or it feels all mysterious, who's hot and cold, pulls away, right? The opposite of a dog who's so consistent, right? Someone who creates drama, keeps you guessing, right? Like Sex in the City. You know what your nervous system says? This is home, right? And this is what happens. You meet someone like that, and I would choose that all the time. And my nervous system would be like, I'd get one word text, and I'd be like, oh, it's so exciting. Oh, does he like me? Oh my God, that is so painful. And then when you meet someone, you're like, and they're so handsome and charming, or look good on paper, you say, oh, wow, I feel like I've known that person my whole life. And guess what? You have. So when you meet someone who is really healthy, who's really available, who is really there for you, who really sees you, who's really consistent, it's like, no, something is wrong. So type in the chat, too nice, if you could recognize that, right? So that is, I had a client, and Jennifer, and she lived in New York City. And when we worked together, before we worked together, she dated the same kind of men I dated, chemistry, kind of like that addictive personality, exciting. And Jen is a kindergarten teacher. She's married like 10 years now. Anyway, there were two guys that were in her sphere. One, dynamic, that exciting addict kind of person, right? Who did not want kids, kept her in mystery, and she was addicted. Versus another guy, the one she married, who was so loving, who was so present, who was so there with her. He would come meet her at lunch and they would go for a jog. And you know what? She almost dumped him. She almost dumped him. But because we worked together and she healed herself, this was the first really good guy. And I said to her, let's really look at this. Are you attracted to him? She's like, yeah. Does he share your vision of having children and a family? She's like, yeah. I'm like, how does he make you feel? Safe and seen and connected and cherished. And religiously, they were on the same page, timeline. I'm like, so what's wrong? And there was nothing wrong. But there was that other guy, the unavailable one. And you know what? She had a choice and she really wanted to go for the other one. Why? To fix him, to change him. And you know what? She was under my wing. We're like, we're not going to do that. And she's been married now like 3 years and has 3 kids. And, her husband's very successful. And you see, but it was new. It was the very first super healthy relationship. So does that make sense, everybody? Like, I know I used to go for that until I changed it. So this is exactly what keeps you stuck. So I want to break this down for you really fast. Unhealthy attraction feels like intensity, drama, consistent anxiety. Will he text me back? Right? And you feel like, now this is key, you feel like you have to work for it, right? You feel like you have to work for it, right? The highs and the lows, right? Chemistry, like fire. And I'm a former love junkie. So that's what it feels like. So give me a heart emoji if that feels familiar. Just type heart, right? And I know I'm going to see lots and lots of red hearts. Right? Because healthy attraction doesn't feel like that. But you know what? That's like the addiction. We kind of need it. And then we take long breaks from dating. It's really long breaks from that crazy nervous system intensity. So let's talk about what healthy love feels like. It feels calm, really calm, right? How many of us are really used to calm? It feels steady. It feels peaceful. It feels like you always know where you stand, right? And I'm such an animal lover, and like animals are like that. They love you no matter what, right? And it feels consistent. And guess what? There is chemistry. You are attracted. But the difference is, instead of bringing up the uncertainty and the abandonment, instead, it's chemistry with warmth, right? So give me a green heart if that sounds good to you. Unfamiliar, but good, right? So I just want to look at the comments. Yeah, exactly, right? And we want to feel good, but it's so unfamiliar. And I've helped more than 832 people over the 15 years to find love. And they say the same thing. They say, Barry, it's exactly like you said it's going to be. It's calm, it's sweet, it's safe, it's loving. Sabrina's in a beautiful new relationship. And she said, every day I'm like amazed and I feel so connected and so aligned, and he's so handsome. This is not like a unicorn feeling. This is the way our clients feel because we heal that, either love junkie addiction, or on the other side, you might say to yourself, well, that's not me. I don't even date. But that's the other side of the coin because you're not dating. So you're like avoiding something that you really want and need, because as humans, let's face it, we need love. We need self-love. That's why in my Clear Path to Healthy Love program, we first do be the one, or else you're going to date, bring your wounds and your trauma with you and attract the same people. So I hope that makes sense. So if you grew up where love was conditional, which come on, in our society, achievement, busyness, status, right? We learn. And unfortunately, um, we get that when we grow up so often. And so if you grew up where you had to like earn attention, where there was chaos, or where you only got praise or attention if you achieved, then guess what? Healthy love is going to feel wrong at first. And that is natural. That is just how it works. So you see, your nervous system is actually trained to equate love with struggle. I'm going to say that again. Your nervous system is trained to equate love with struggle. That's foundation. You see that? So here's what I want you to know again after 15 years and 832 success stories. Once you rewire your nervous system, everything changes. But a big mistake is some people analyze the past thinking that understanding the pattern is rewiring. And I can tell you, after someone who started therapy at 12 years old, is that, my friends, is not an embodiment. So even if you've done therapy for 30 years or you've done energy healing, whatever the case may be, that's good work. Not at all negating that work, but it's not the same as having an embodiment. Okay, makes sense? So what happens is that when we're in that paradigm, either avoiding love or keep attracting the same wrong people, you stop overlooking the good ones when we rewire, when you get to an embodiment, when you have a new understanding and language and feeling, you learn how to feel the way you want to feel, then you stop wasting time with unavailable partners, right? And you start actually receiving the love that you deserve, right? Because you're giving yourself that, but it doesn't end there. It doesn't end there. I'll tell you, I used to abandon myself all the time. And I went to yoga and I was in therapy and I did Tony Robbins and Kabbalah and I listened to the gurus, but I would still make wrong choices and attract the same wrong people because, again, there was no embodiment of this and I didn't know truly what that was. So type in the chat, how do you want your future relationship to feel? Put in the chat a feeling. And these are things I call emotional needs. How do you want to feel? Because I know I felt abandoned, I felt unseen, I felt unsteady, I felt kind of broken. How, on the flip side, how do you want to feel? Put in the chat a word about how you want to feel. Oh, yeah. We want to feel safe. You want to feel peaceful. Imagine that. You want it to feel easy. You want to feel whole. You want to feel, right? You want to feel beautiful, right? And in order to break the pattern and go from choosing and attracting emotionally unavailable partners, we need to shift the whole reality, right? The whole paradigm. And the good news is it happens quickly. It's not open-ended where it takes years or we have to analyze for 5 years, like why your parents were the way they were. Like, it just doesn't really matter. So what we do is we have a whole different way of approaching this in a way that's very future focused. So instead of operating from a archaeological dig, right? Where we dig up the past and then we understand it. And then we feel like, oh, I get it. That's why that happens. But you want to fix it, right? That's really what we need to do is how do you fix it? So in Love Ready, we do the actual process to fix it. So how do we do it? We do the reality check process. What do? We look at your childhood from a 30,000 foot view. It's really about before age 7. And even if you know already, we look at it differently. What did love look like? How did our caretakers show up? What did I have to do to get love, right? So, where did our patterns come from, right? It came from our childhood love school teachers, right? So, we're having a conversation about a different love school, right? So, who were your love school teachers? Put that in the chat. Who were your love school teachers, right? Mom and dad, right, were our love school teachers. And I always joke around with our clients, like, what do we know about them? God bless them. But when it came to parenting or being in a healthy relationship, that love school teacher approach should not have been accredited, right? So we add humor and fun and reality to it, and we actually fix it, right? So your teachers were dads and moms and how they related to each other and how they related to you. So here's the truth. You're not attracting wrong people only. The thing is you're overlooking the right ones, right? So we're bringing in the familiar and we're completely not even in a congruence for the right ones. Okay. So let me tell you about a client. We're going to rename her. Everyone is entitled to their privacy. The ones I talk about in the love stories are people who say, Barry, share my love story. Tell everyone what it was like. And those are the people I interview and share their stories. So I'm going to call this person Michelle. Okay. And her mom growing up was depressed. And as a little girl, Michelle learned that love meant fixing, rescuing, and managing someone else's emotions as a little girl, right? This is just like the reality that she was born into. So type fixer if you're the rescuer in relationships. Oh my God, I did what we call dating potential. I always dated potential. And because of how I grew up, my father was bipolar. My mother was hard of hearing. They had a very tenuous relationship. So for those of you who are jumping on, I'm Barry. We help high achieving singles break out of patterns. I've helped more than 832 to get into healthy relationships and once and for all heal through this reality check process. One piece of it, it's called Bye Bye Blind Spots, so that they could find healthy love within themselves first, and then have a strategy and a plan to bring in great love. And I'm in a loving 20-year relationship that's exciting and dynamic, right? So as an adult, Michelle, she dated men who needed what? What do you think? What do you think those men needed? They needed to be fixed, right? And so these are men who struggled with their career, men who had anger issues, men who had addictions, men who were like projects. Now, there's nothing inherently wrong with that. We like when people want to grow, but if you're in a different space and you want someone healthy, so what does that show us? Right? Men who are working on themselves, who need fixing, who are angry, who have addictions, who are incomplete, and we're attracting them, then who's really the common denominator here, right? So Michelle, like me and like many of you, think, oh, I can help him once he gets through this, then we'll have what I want, right? So ultimately, it's exhausting, right? Who can relate? It's exhausting, and when Michelle, this case study, when she met a stable, healthy, happy, together man who wanted to give to her, guess what she said? Ew, boring. Oh, boring. There's something, I'm just not attracted. Boring, right? So type boring in the chat if you could relate to that. If you've written off someone that you're like feels like a friend zone person, right? Boring. So here's the thing. It wasn't that he was boring. It's that her nervous system didn't recognize stability and safety as love. And then you're just not attracted, right? That's what happens. So once we did bye-bye blind spots and the reality check process, and she saw her pattern, and in this process, we change the pattern. That's the thing. We change it. You know what happened? Everything shifted. And she said when she came into our work, oh my God, I've tried everything, right? And that's the really good news, is that this is the thing that worked. Okay. And you know what? She's able now to enjoy the love that she has with the man that she married. And she has a great life and a playful life and a successful life and an integrated life. So isn't that exciting? So in this conversation, can you see your pattern kind of like jumping out and emerging? Type yes, maybe, or no in the chat. Because guess what? This is the work that actually changes everything. So I'm moving over to the chat. And you know what? It's so crazy about the comments. Sometimes I can't see them, but I will see them after. Okay. So now let's do a quick visualization. So I want you to close your eyes, unless you're driving. Don't close your eyes if you're driving. Okay. And I want you to imagine that you're married to your person, to your soulmate. It's everything that you ever wanted and needed, right? And it's a Tuesday evening, you just got home, and your person is there waiting for you, the one. What does that feel like? What does it feel like? Does it feel like butterflies and, right? Or does it feel calm, seen, loved, truly safe, right? Does it feel peaceful? Now remember, this is a person you're attracted to, who's a giver, who is a nurturer, who's, if you're a woman and this is your man, handsome, leader, take charge. Even if you're a take charge woman, right, in business, right? We all want a man who is present and there for us. And if you're a guy, we also have guys in our community, and you're with a woman who sees you, and you're her king, and you feel. So that's what we're looking. How does it feel? Right, easy, calm, sweet, grateful. Like you could finally exhale. Amazing, right? So open your eyes and in one word, tell me, how does that feel? And I want to see in the comments. And if you're watching the replay, then put that in the chat, in the comments below. I really want to know, because it makes all the difference in the world. We had a dating camp call last night, and when you're dating in the beginning, right in the beginning, you feel those ways. It's so refreshing. And the words I hear is just like I shared, warm and calm and beautiful. And everyone says that, right? Once we do all this work. Okay. So that's what healthy love looks like. Not a roller coaster, the steady ground, right? And until you can feel it in your body, you know what happens? You just keep missing it. You don't even come into the same reality, because here you are with your own unresolved trauma. And these are blind spots. This is not something that you know about. And this is not anyone's fault. That's the thing. It's just like, oh, I didn't know that. So if you're in this state and this is your energy, then that's what you're attracting. So what I want you to know, we have to feel it in the body, right? This is embodied work, not just awareness. It's nervous system rewiring. And that's what I want to share with you about the workshop that I'm doing on February 18th at 7 p.m. It's a free 90-minute workshop, and it's called The 3 Mistakes That Keep You Stuck, whether you date online or organically, and how to finally break free, right? And I'm walking you through getting complete from your past. I'm walking you through the relationship readiness diagnostic, the bye-bye blind spots process, right? And plus, I'm going to introduce you to our next cohort of Love Ready for Spring, which is that full out transformation. Okay. So we're going to put the link in the chat to register for that. That link is go.meettomarry.com/3mistakes. Go.meettomarry.com/3mistakes. So we're going to put that in the chat. So listen, if you're tired of repeating your patterns, and if you're really ready to recognize and receive healthy love, then join me on February 18th at 7, and we're going to go over the whole thing. And before we go, I want to know one thing that you're taking away from today's conversation. Because here's the thing, this is something that can be handled. Isn't that so exciting? Like, if everyone did this process, there would have been no Sex and the City TV show or movie, because Sarah Jessica Parker was like, oh, why is Big being that way? How do I change him? Oh, I'm going to settle. No, I'm going to, why? All of that kind of talk would just be a non-issue, because she would have said, he's emotionally unavailable. I'm attracting emotionally unavailable. So I need to change myself and go find someone who is available. Right? But of course, that's TV, and this is real life. So I want to look at some of your comments, and those comments is like, oh, I do overlook healthy men. Oh, I need to do nervous system rewiring, right? And also, chemical attraction equals familiarity. So these are the things that we want to change. So I'm really excited to see you on February 18th. And before that, I will see you next week on Wednesday at Live at Lunch. And we're really excited for you to be at the 3 mistakes. And we're going to change those so that you could have what you want. Okay, everyone. So if you're ready, register, and we will see you next week. And the takeaway I want to share with you is that getting to wholeness and clarity and finding sweet, healthy love that makes life better is a learnable skill. So thank you, everyone, for being here with me. I appreciate your attention. I could totally feel your energy, and I will see you next week. Bye, everyone.